There it is.
Good evening. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I didn't know I was hosting, but I will do. I'll take over. Premier League predictions. To my left, that way, is Lucas. Down the bottom there is Alfie, and over that way is Mitch. We will get there. We will get there in the end. We will get there in the end. Premier League predictions of what we think will happen this coming season. Gents, before we get started, how is everyone? Everyone happy?
Annoyed, but I'm okay.
You are fucking. You are always annoyed.
You all are impossible to work with sometimes, but I do love you in the end.
I don't have a clue why Lucas annoyed, but we
basically everyone. Lucas's formatting idea was shocking.
Yeah, but we will get to it. We will get to it. Lucas, get the tier list up. I will go first, and then we will go from there.
All right, everyone, don't like the video. Don't subscribe to the channel. Don't hit the notification bell. Don't do that. All right.
No swearing tonight, by the way.
We've done about 4 swear words already, but let's go.
Jesus. All right. So who's going first?
Me.
All right. Fever, let's crack on.
Right. Relegation. Obviously, we'll start off with that. Luton, bottom of the league.
You're going 20th?
Yep, 100%. I think they get done quite a lot this season, and I think they'd be lucky if they get 20 points in the whole year. They're just not made for the Premier League for me. 19 will be Wolves.
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of problems, mate. No money. Manager that looks like could be at the door. Not very good. I will say that. 18 is an interesting one. Crystal Palace.
Oh my gosh! What a shout!
Right, Crystal Palace.
Love that shout.
Right, for me, I think everyone's looking at them and thinking they're going to be fine. If they get rid of Elise or Eze, then they're just a bang average side and they could easily be done. 17 is Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United will get out of trouble. I think their home form, they're pretty good at Bramall Lane. I think they're pretty decent, and I think they will grind out wins at home. So you got
2 Premier League clubs going down. Very interesting. I like it.
Yeah. 16, Fulham.
Ooh,
I think
this is spicy.
I think Fulham, they're signing decent-ish players, but I think they ain't going to have as good a season as they did last season. I will say that. And for me, obviously Mitrovic gone. If Silva doesn't start off well, he could be gone and all. So I think 16th for them. I think Bournemouth 15th next up.
Okay.
I look at them. I think new manager. I think they've got enough to stay in the league. I think they've signed well. If they get Alex Scott, and they obviously they've got Cookes and all, decent. Yeah. 14, Nottingham Forest. I think Forest have got enough firepower to blast their way out of trouble again, like they did last season. I think Forest are in trouble financially though now. That could play a part in if they sort of collapse or not. But at present, right now, doing it right now, I would definitely say Forest will finish 14th. Next up, 13th, last of this sort of section, Burnley. I think Burnley are going to be quite a surprise package. Yeah, people think they're going to finish in the top half. I don't believe that. I think under company, I think they've got a well-organised manager who knows how to sort of run things up there. Signed some good players, but I think first season back in the Premier League after getting relegated a few seasons ago, I think they'll be all right. I think they'll win a lot of games at Turf Moor. Not very good away from home, but at home they're pretty decent. A bit like Sheffield United, but just a better version.
Mm-hmm.
Then, number 12 is the boys in claret and blue, West Ham United. I think West Ham at 4 to 6. I looked at a price earlier on. 4 to 6 West Ham to finish in the bottom half is absolutely printing money. Anyone wants to go and have a punt, go and get on that 4 to 6 bottom half, because I just cannot see West Ham finishing in the top half this season. I really can't. I think there's better teams than us. They've strengthened better than us, and 4 to 6 West Ham. I think we will grind out wins. If Moyes is here for the whole season, we will finish around that position. If Moyes goes, then we might improve and go up the league.
All right.
But other than that, not for me. So that's number 12. Number 11 is Everton. I think Everton will.
Ooh.
I think Everton sort themselves out this year. I think Dyche in charge. He knows how to win games, grind out wins. Everton at home, final season and all at Goodison Park. People keep forgetting that, so they're going to want to win every game at home. It's going to be a bit like how we was at Upton Park to them at Goodison Park, and I think they will finish about 11th place.
Except more crap players.
More crap players, yeah, I agree on that. Number 10 is Brentford. Yeah, I think Brentford. I know they've got no Ivan Toney, and I understand that, but I still think they're a decent side. Yeah, and they do carry themselves well, Brentford. Yeah, they don't do a lot of damage in sort of big or small games, but in big games against big teams, they seem to turn up. So yeah, I'll put them 10th. I think Brentford have a good season. Once Ivan Toney's back, then it is what it is. Right, where are we? Number 9 is Brighton. Brighton and Hove Albion. Obviously, Brighton are in the Europa League this season.
I love this list, filthy thief.
I know, mate. Brighton. Let me land, man. Brighton Europa League. Thursday, Sunday. I don't think they're going to be as good as they was last season, but I think they're going to be better than some of the other teams that are below them. Sorry, and I think 9th is the position for them. Number 8 is Spurs. I think Spurs are going to fall off this year. If Harry Kane goes, then where's the goals coming from for them? I think they've got goals in their team, but not as many as if Kane is gone. If Kane goes, then who's their goal scorer? Who's going to bag 25, 30 goals? Do you know what I'm saying? So I've gone for 8 for them. Number 7 is Newcastle. I think Newcastle will get found out this year in the Champions League. I think they will go in the Champions League Wednesday, and then if they've got to play in the league on the weekend, on the Saturday, that's when Newcastle will get found out. I think Newcastle have signed well. They signed the player today, 35 million pounds. Southampton player.
Livramento.
Yeah, good player. Yeah, so I look at them and I think I can see them top half, but I can't see them challenging for the league or top 4. I just don't see it. I think other teams will be stronger than them. So 7th for Newcastle. Number 6, 6th place, Europa League spot is Aston Villa. I think they've signed brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Like Torres at the back, obviously the rapid winger from Leverkusen, who they've signed. Unai Emery's up there now. I think
well said.
If Villa would have got Unai Emery last season at the start of the season, God knows where they would have ended up. Because listen, they could have easily got top 4 last season if Unai Emery was starting. So I've gone for 6. I think they've dropped. I think they will start off well, drop a little bit, and then they'll maintain it. 6th position for me. Number 5 is the one, and that is Arsenal, 5th in the league.
Oh, come on.
Right? People look at them and think midfield. People think Arsenal, wow, yeah. No striker. Jesus is out. Yeah. If they go and buy a striker over the next few weeks, a proper striker, relying on Eddie Nketiah to fire you to the league is not what it is. Yeah. Let's be real. Yeah. If you're trying to win the league, you're not going to win the league with Eddie Nketiah up front.
Yeah, but thick.
Right. Let's fucking be honest. Right. So that ain't happening. Yeah. So I've gone for 5th for them. Yeah. 4th, which I think is better of the season for me, and this is anyone who follows me on my betting stuff. Absolute bet of the season is Chelsea to finish top 4. 100%. I fancy it big time. They're 5-4 to finish top 4. They've got no European football. They play one game a week. They've got a big enough squad to rotate in certain games. I'm going to be honest. They are better this season for me to finish in the top 4. I'll be stunned if Chelsea don't finish in the top 4. I really will. So
James, really quickly, do you want another bet? Last year we had it. You had Chelsea to come above Arsenal. I had Arsenal to come above Chelsea. Do you want to do it again?
Of course we can. I think Chelsea are going to a little dark horses to do some serious damage. I think. How
much are we saying?
Well, we will discuss that off air, right? Next up, 3rd, and that is Manchester United. I think Manchester United have signed pretty well, I must admit. The goalkeeper, Mount, the striker from Anderlecht, is it? But I just don't think they're going to be strong enough to compete with the top 2. 2nd is Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to be back to their best, mate, this season, yeah? When you look at Liverpool's strike force, yeah, of what they've got, I think they've got some severe firepower up there, yeah? But I think it's going to be out of them and City to win the league. And obviously, I think I've gone for Manchester City to finish top of the tree because they've got Pep Guardiola and they've got Haaland. And do you know what I mean? And that is it from me. Does people want to bet? Of course it does. Rich, I'm a 50 with you. No problem. You know what I mean? Right. That's me done.
That's good.
Boys, any comments on Fever's table before I
I
reset it?
actually think it's quite good.
List.
Apart from Arsenal, that was a stinker. But
yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's decent.
Yeah.
I think every team there is like at worst like 1 or 2 positions out where I'd put them anyway. So
yeah.
Actually, no, because I've got a little
not Arsenal,
idea.
surely.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go. I'll have my say.
All right, Alf, go ahead, son.
Afternoon, people. Let me just get my notes app up. Right, so in last place, I've gone with Sheffield United.
Okay.
I think they're in big trouble. Their best player has left the club, Iliman Ndiaye. He's gone to Marseille for 17 million euros, and he was the catalyst behind their promotion last year, replacing Morgan Gibbs-White, who obviously joined Nottingham Forest. Yeah, I think they're in big trouble. I'm not too convinced by their signings. I like the wing-backs. I don't know how you say his name, the centre-half. You know what I'm on about.
Yeah. The Bosnian.
I actually don't. Could you pronounce his name, please?
His first name's Anel, and he's Bosnian. I like him.
Good player.
But they've still not got a proper striker. They've got Ollie McBurney as their option up front, and let's be honest, he's not Premier League player. He's barely even a Championship player anymore. So I've got them last. 19th, gone with Luton Town. I think their team's terrible. Honestly, you could say it's a lazy prediction, and I do think they'll win a few games early in the season at home. I do think they'll beat us at home as well. And I like their centre-back, Tom Lockyer, the Welsh lad. But I think their team's terrible. I really do. And I watched the playoffs. I don't think they're a very good team. I think the main reason they went up in those playoffs was the semi-final. The atmosphere at home got them over the line. And then the final was a terrible...
You know what's funny? I think Luton's best players might be their wing backs.
Yeah,
good players.
Good players. I like Nakamba's a decent defensive midfielder, but not good enough. 19th. And 18th, I've gone with Wolves.
Okay.
I think they're in trouble. I think the manager's a very good manager. I know he lost to Mr. Moyes in Europa League, but understandable.
Of course he did.
Very good manager, but I think he's going to walk. I watched one of his interviews the other day. He doesn't sound optimistic at all.
No money either. None.
Yeah, no money. Lost Ruben Neves, who, let's be fair, was their best player.
No depth either.
Nunes, the midfielder, looks like he could be off to Paris Saint-Germain. They're playing Fabio Silva up front at the moment. Big problems at Wolves, massive problems. Lost Nathan Collins to Brentford as well. I think he's a good player. So I think they're going to go down in 18th. No goals in that team. No goals. 17th. And bear in mind, they only scored 31 last year. 17th, I've gone with Fulham. For me, one of the more overrated sides in the league last year. We obviously beat them twice, and the main reason why they finished so high in the league was because of their good start and Leno in goal, who massively overperformed. The amount of goals compared to what he did concede to what he should have conceded, the stats show it's out the water. And I don't think that history will repeat itself this year. As much as I think he's a good shot stopper, I think they'll come unstuck a little bit. Williams leaving. Just signed a new deal, but he's leaving already. He's going to Saudi Arabia. Mitrovic, they've had a couple troubles with him in Saudi Arabia as well. Apparently he's threatened to not play for the club if they don't let him go. I think they're in trouble. I think they're coming 17th. 16th, Fulham. I like new manager. I think, not Fulham, I'm on about Bournemouth.
I was about to say. Go ahead.
I like new manager. Areola, I think he's a good manager. Apparently done brilliant in La Liga. Got to a Copa del Rey final with a relatively weak team. He done well at Rayo Vallecano as well. High press, good manager, but their squad is very weak. They've lost Lerma in midfield, who I think's a very good midfielder to Palace. Not too convinced by Alex Scott personally. I think they've made a couple decent signings. And I love Kirkes, the left back who they've signed, obviously, from AZ Alkmaar, who we played last year. But I think they'll come 16th, which I'd say is a good season for Bournemouth. 15th, Nottingham Forest. Now, I'm going to let you into a little secret. I originally had them 11th or 10th, but apparently there's a lot of trouble behind the scenes financially at Nottingham Forest. I don't think they're going to be able to bring in many more players. And I'm not a big fan of Steve Cooper as a Premier League manager. I think he's a good Championship manager. I don't think he's the reason they stayed up last year. I think the reason was their home atmosphere was off the charts. And I think they have with very good players. I think Morgan Gibbs-White's a sensational footballer. I think Brennan Johnson is also very good. And I don't mind the striker, Awaniyi. Scored a lot of goals at the end of the season. So I think 15th for Nottingham Forest with their home form getting them over the line, because we saw what they're like away when we smashed them 4-0. 14th, Everton. I think trouble's not over at Everton, certainly not. And they've signed Arnaut Danjuma, who's a good player on his day. But if things go wrong, his head will go down. He's not got the best of mentalities. Apparently, there's always been trouble behind the scenes with him. If things are going right, Danjuma will look good. If things are going wrong, he won't. And there may be trouble in the dressing room. But Dyche is a very good manager. He won't take them down. 14th. 13th have gone with Burnley.
Okay.
Vincent Kompany's sensational tactically. I thought he'd done wonderful things in the Championship last year. I like Brownhill. I like Josh Cullen for Kompany. I think they'll be looking to re-sign Harwood Bellis, who was excellent for them last year. I also really like the signing of James Trafford. Really impressed me for England under-21s. I think he's a good young keeper. Only issue for me is where the goal is going to come from, which seems to be quite a recurring theme in this bottom half. But I think they're better than the teams below them. So 13th. 12th. Let's see who I had 12th. Palace. Crystal Palace. Now, I'm in an R-ing with Palace. I was going to put them lower until I properly looked at their squad, and I'm very impressed with their midfield. I think their midfield is top half standard. Lerma, very good signing from Bournemouth, as I've already mentioned. They've also signed Brazilian midfielder Franca from Flamengo for what could end up being 26 million. And he's apparently a sensational young talent. That's alongside players they've already got, Chet Decore, who was excellent last season for Palace, and Eberi Eze, who I think is unbelievable, as I've said before. Got Elise still. Will he go? Will he not? That will be one they want to keep. And obviously they lost Zaha, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. As good a player as he is, I think it's time that Palace move on from him. And I think they'll come 12th. In 11th, I've got West Ham.
Okay.
Mr. Moyes coming 11th and doing well in Europe again is what I can see for the Happy Hammers this year. I think we're going to struggle at the start of the season, but I just hope they persist with Moyes. I think we will sign a couple of players in the next few days in the transfer market, and it seems like we're going to listen to Timothy's targets now. Hopefully we get in Fofana from Monaco, who looked sensational last night, but I think people do underestimate the quality of our team. Our league position last year was not representative of how good our team is, in my opinion. I analysed all the teams in the bottom half. I think we got a better team than almost all of them, if I'm honest. I think there's some really weak squads in this bottom half, and I think 11th for West Ham.
Agreed.
10th, I've gone for Brentford.
Same as me.
Yeah. Now, this one was tough because obviously they lost Tony, and let's have it right. If they didn't have Tony last season, they no way would have come as high as they did. But
Ivan Tony out till January 17th.
Yeah. So second half of the season, he'll be vital. But Brentford recruit brilliantly. I think Wissa will. Every time I've watched Brentford without Tony, Wissa has looked very good. I think he's a very underrated player. I think Mbermo's possibly the most underrated player in the Premier League.
I agree.
I actually agree on that, yeah.
I will say it. I think Mbermo, the fact that he looks old actually means he's not as rated as highly as he should be. He's actually only 20.
He look a bit old. I think he's such a Moyes player, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a great player, and I think Thomas Frank's a top manager. I think the signing of Nathan Collins is a very good signing. Not been impressed with them in pre-season, I must admit, but I can see Brentford coming 10th. And as I said, I think the teams in the bottom half are really poor. So I think there might be quite a decent gap between 10th and 9th this year. And 9th, I've got Brighton.
Same as me.
I think De Zerbi is one of the best managers in the league tactically. I think he's unbelievable. And I think that will be the reason why Brighton come 9th here. I think they will lose Moises Caicedo. I think they've already lost Alexis McAllister. But I think, as I said, De Zerbi is an incredible manager. They've got unbelievable ranks of talent coming through. They've got the new Ivorian guy. I don't know his name. He scored 2 the other day. Looks to be another great player for them. Big fan of Matoma. Massive fan of Evan Ferguson. I think the midfield's good. And as I said, De Zerbi's an incredible manager. So they'll at least come 11th because
Mr. De Zerbi.
He's unreal.
You do.
8th, Aston Villa. I was going to put them a bit higher, but no, not for me. I think 8th isn't a bad season for Aston Villa. I think you've got to remember they've got Conference League. I think they made.
But is that a poor season though for Villa though, Alf?
No,
in one way, considering how much money they spent.
I don't think it is. No, I think they've got Conference League. I think their aim will be to win that as well, because obviously they'll get Europa League if they win it, and I think they're probably top 3 favourites to win that competition. But I think they had some good business in the transfer market. Yuri Tielemans is an iffy player. If things are going well, similar to Dan Juma, if things are going well, he's brilliant. If they're not, he's terrible because he's so poor at tracking back. He's not a good athlete, but he's sensational technically. Leon Bailey, top signing. Don't know how they... Not Leon Bailey, God. Moussa Diaby, top signing. Don't know how they got him. Fair play. Pau Torres, on his day, is a good centre-half. I think he's a bit overrated, but obviously Unai Emery trusts him. So yeah, Villa to come 8th, and the reason is because I think Tottenham will just about come above them. Reason why I say that is I think they will keep Harry Kane. He's not going to go to Bayern Munich.
So wait, so you're going Tottenham 7th, correct?
Yeah, I think Harry Kane wants to break Shearer's record. There's not a chance he goes Bayern Munich for me, and that's the difference between them and Villa. Harry Kane. I think Postecoglou's a very good manager. Tactically, I think James Maddison's a top signing. Possibly will be one of the signings of the season if I'm being unbiased.
Value-wise as well.
I think you've got to expect Son to be back a little bit this year, as well as Richarlison. And I think 7th isn't a good season for Tottenham, but that's what I can see.
If Spurs get rid of Kane, where do they finish?
Possibly 9th.
Yeah, that's what I think.
6th, I've gone with Chelsea. I think this is an adaptation year for Chelsea, personally. I don't think they will get top 4. I still think that a lot of players in their side need to adapt to Poch, but I think that they should be comfortable with that this year, because I think there's teams in a better position than them. I think they're more well set up. I think Levi Colwill coming back is brilliant news. I think he's a top centre-half, big fan of him. I think Mudryk will adapt a little bit this year, but
I rate Mudryk.
Yeah, I like him, but we mustn't forget how poor they were last year. And for me, it's not going to change overnight. I think 6th would be good this year for Chelsea. I think Poch, I'm a bit iffy when it comes to Poch. I think sometimes he gets his tactics right, but for me, he's a bit too flexible. He changes it up a bit too much for me. I think Nicholas Jackson was a top signing. But I think 6th for Chelsea. 5th, I've gone for Newcastle.
All right.
Obviously, they've got Champions League, which may be difficult for them to maintain a good league form at the same time. But I think Newcastle officially have broken into the top 6 now. I don't think last year will be a one-off, personally. I think Harvey Barnes isn't a bit of an overpriced signing, but I'd say a smart one. I think Anthony Gordon's going to hit another level this year, if I'm honest. I've been very impressed with him over this summer. I think him and Barnes as left-winger options. I think they're fine there. I love their striker options. I think Wilson's brilliant. I think Isak's even better. The fact that they can rotate between the two of them for Champions League and Premier League games is so encouraging. And their midfield's unreal. They've got Moraes, Joelinton, Tonali, and their defence was already one of the best in the league. So 5th for Newcastle for me. 4th, Manchester United. Confusing one, Manchester United. I think Ten Hag's obviously a tactically good manager, but I'm still not convinced by their front line. I think Rasmus Højlund's a good signing. I think his profile is perfect. He's fast, he's explosive, he's good in the box. I think he'll only get better. But the problem for me is on the wing. Not a big fan of Anthony at all. I really, really am not a big fan of Anthony. He reminds me a bit of Ben Rama, if I'm honest. I'm not a big fan of Jadon Sancho either. I don't like that type of winner. Obviously, they've got Marcus Rashford, but I'm interested to see how he gets on with a proper striker in the middle. Rashford, I rate, but I'm not his biggest fan at the same time. Midfield's good, very good. Like Mason Mount, I think he's good in all areas of the pitch. I think Casemiro's a bit overrated, but obviously a very good midfielder. And I'm a massive fan of Bruno Fernandes. 4th for Man United. Onana, a great signing. He will definitely change the way they play. Much better than De Gea in the modern era. 3rd, I have gone with Liverpool.
Alf, what are you doing to me, bro? Alfie, mate. Alfie. Oh, what you done to me? Go on,
Sorry, I have to go back real quick. I was absolutely amazed with Onana's 17 forward passes in the preseason.
Right. The reason why
that was a brilliant stat.
The reason why I've gone Liverpool below Arsenal and Man City, which I think is totally fair prediction, is I don't think they're good enough defensively at all. I think they've not replaced Fabinho yet. I don't think Lavia is a good enough replacement on his own. I think he's a great player, but I think they need more. I don't think Lavia alongside
They've signed that midfielder from Leipzig.
He's an attacking option though. He's not good defensively.
He's a bit of a weird one. He's a winger, but they're playing him in midfield.
I'm not convinced by it. I think they're going to score a lot of goals.
He's a baller, though, I must admit.
They're going to concede a lot of goals as well. I think Szoboszlai, McAllister and Lavia is a terrible midfield when it comes to balance. I think they're going to be horrendous at stopping transitions. I think Van Dijk is regressing. I'm not convinced by Liverpool. I've not been convinced in pre-season. Gave up way too many chances against Bayern Munich. But their front line's unbelievable. Massive fan of Salah, obviously. Núñez, Gakpo, I think sensational. I think they'll probably score first or second most goals in the league, but defensively not good enough. 2nd,
No, give us your winner. Give us your champions.
Champions, Manchester City. 2nd, I've gone with Arsenal. Same as last year. I think Man City are too good at the moment. But Arsenal are a sensational team. They've got an unbelievable manager. Obviously, they've just signed Declan Rice, who's a brilliant signing. I think Timber's a great signing as well. But Man City are too good. I think Pep Guardiola's the best manager in the world. I think Kovacic is a good replacement for Gundogan. And I'm looking at the table now. I'm very proud of it. I think Arsenal 2nd definitely will happen. I think Man City will win the league, definitely. And that's my table.
All right. And before we move on to what the boys think, we got 105 people in the chat right now. If you could smash a like button. Can you not interrupt me? How about that? Go on, Alf. Say what you want to say. Go ahead.
I don't know why Fever's rubbing his head.
Oh, mate, I can't believe some of this shit.
Is that all you wanted to say? That's what you interrupted me for?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's 109 people now in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you could smash a like button on the video, it'd be greatly appreciated. We're trying to get to 100 likes every single video.
If we get 1,000 likes, West Ham Online's got to reveal his identity. But smash the like button. Smash the like.
There's about 4,000 bets now to reveal his identity.
Say again.
Just put in the chat. West Ham Online and Nkunku is a striker, not midfielder. I didn't even mention Nkunku, let alone say he's a midfielder.
But he's not a striker.
Right? Can we talk about Alfie's team quickly? Yeah.
Well, it was good.
Right.
Come on, Beaver.
You've got to explain to me why Chelsea are 6th.
What? You've got to explain to me why they're top 4. I don't think they're better than the
I
team.
will say the reason why I think they're top 4 because they've got one game a week, they've got no distractions, they've got a big enough squad now to deal with. Yeah, other teams will have other priorities in hand, and when a team has got one competition to go for, they always improve tenfold.
Look,
like, do you know what I'm
listen,
saying?
I think that's a bit of a myth at the top of the table. Bottom half, I agree. When it was a team like us with poor squad depth, I agree. But I'm looking at teams I put above them. Newcastle, I think their squad depth's exceptional, as I mentioned. I think they've got 2 very good strikers, 2 very good left wingers. I think in midfield they've got a lot of depth as well. I just don't think Chelsea are at that level yet. I've not seen enough to justify putting them in the top 4, and I've not seen enough from Pochettino.
All right.
I don't know, mate.
Mitch, you got any comment on Alfie's table?
I actually do agree with what David said. Well, obviously, you'll see my predictions, but I think Alfie's table's good.
All right.
Okay.
The people really want to see Mitch's table. Mitch, do you want me to go next or you want to go last?
I'll go next.
You want to go next? All right.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Give the people what they want, yeah?
All right, before I go ahead, and I just want to say, every year in the Premier League, there is always one team that does better than what you think, and one team that do worse. So I'm trying to, again, this is not a kind of calculated, I mean, it is mostly, but I'm also kind of doing it off of a bit of gut instinct for a couple teams where I think that team will finish worse than I think, and that team will finish better. Because it happens every season. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, just roll. All right, rock bottom, I've got them Sheffield United cunts.
Mate,
United.
I mean, Christ.
Sorry. All right.
He said Hunts, everyone in the chat. It was Hunt. All right. Yeah.
Sheffield United hunts. They're on the hunt for relegation. Awful team. Shit fan base. No, quite a good fan base, but I mean, like,
Love it, Mitch.
I don't like them. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Sheffield United. I just hope they go down. 19th, I'm not even going to talk about Sheffield United. 19th, I've gone with Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth have overstayed their stay in the Premier League by a season. And I'd love them to actually liquidate. That's bad, isn't it? Is that bad?
Jeez.
I'd like them to liquidate because I just
speak up, Mitch. Mitch, speak up. People say,
wait, quickly. While Mitch adjusts his mic, can I just say I really hope Brentford go down. I hate their stadium. If there's any way for Brentford to get relegated, please do it.
Fair enough.
I'll speak louder. Is that better?
Yes, better? It's a lot better.
Okay, I'll speak louder. It's a bad start here. It's a very good start. Bournemouth, yeah. And because they're all inbreds as well. 19th, Bournemouth, I think they will struggle. I think their squad is poor. They've got some fucking bang average manager in. He might have had a good year last year. Nah. I think they'll get relegated. I think the team's too shit. 18th, I've gone with Wolves. For the same reason as all you lot have gone with. I think they're going to really struggle for goals. They've got no creativity in that team. I don't even know if they signed. Have they even signed this year? They've signed.
No
We signed Doherty. That's about it.
Yeah.
They want Aaron Cresswell. That's about it.
Oh, that tells you everything they need to fucking.
Yeah.
But don't forget they've got big Craig Dawson. So you know.
Okay, so they'll lose every game 1-0. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, in 17th, I've got Luton. I think Luton are going to be passion merchants this season. I just think they've got too much buzz around themselves to go down. I just feel they've got that thing about them where they're going to stay up. I reckon it'll be 16th or 17th, and then they'll get relegated, rock bottom next
That bus
season.
is going to be strong, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fucking, it's going to rock. I mean, they are all...
Mate, you curse one more time, you're doing the rest of this table on mute.
Pardon?
If you curse one more time, you're doing the rest of this table on mute.
Oh, mate, I said it earlier on. I said it earlier on. Please don't swear. We've sweared about 75 times already. God, carry on, man.
Right, sorry. Luton is the biggest shite hole in the country. He actually got voted, by the way, in February, the worst town in England. So, I hope they finish bottom. However, I don't think they will. Disgusting. They shouldn't even be in the Premier League. Tiny club. Disgusting. Next, I'm gone with Fulham, 16th.
Thank you,
Again,
Keith.
for the
Much
same reasons you
appreciated.
boys have done. Said
Big up,
I didn't
Keith.
see Mitch going. I didn't see Willian leaving, and it's just all gone a bit to shit, really. Sorry, it's all gone to pot, and it's a shame. I quite like Fulham. Passionate fan base. They all rate Barbie, and Barbie's a shit film, which is a shame.
All right, you're donating a quid now towards the swear jar for now.
What? Sorry, I don't even realise. Sorry. All right.
Starting now.
Fulham, lovely people. 16th. 15th, I've gone with Palace. They're a team, I don't know, I think they could shock me. They could do pretty well under Roy Hodgson, just how they finished last season. Or with how their squad says, with what the squad says to me, without Saha, I think they could possibly really struggle and even get relegated, like James said. But I'm going to play it safe and go 15th. 14th, I've gone with Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
Fantastic club. Hope they stay in the Premier League. And I think they will. I think they have a pretty decent season. Their striker has got a bit of form, towards the end of last season. And they've got a decent sized squad. And I just think, actually, you know what? It surprised me just looking at it, how many bad teams are in the Premier League this year.
Loads, Mitchell.
Yeah.
Mitchell Hicks, there's loads, buddy.
And I agree with your testament.
Which before, because before today, I just thought, I was worried a little bit more about West Ham getting relegated, even though I don't think we will. But looking at all the teams today, how many bad teams there are below us, I'm really confident we're staying up now. So I'm thinking,
I agree with your testament because now that the one clown is out of Nottingham, I can now go back to respecting them as a club, and I do think they belong in the Premier League as a mainstay. I do like Nottingham.
Oh, they get relegated. I really hope they go down.
Oh shit. Okay. 13th, I've gone with Burnley. Playing it safe, really. I think they're gonna good season. They haven't got the best of squads, really. I think Company's a good manager. I do think he's quite good. But without the resources to really do anything, I don't think he can really push any higher than that. 13th, Bash. 12th, Brentford. I think Brentford are going to struggle a lot more this season. I think Tony is such an important part of their transitional play and his goal contributions. It's just going to hurt him bad, I think. And that is why. And I think, they could even finish lower. I think these kind of clubs like Brentford and that, they have a few good, they come up every so often, every 5-10 years in the Premier League. They have a few good years and then they go back down in Championship where they belong. Actually, they belong in League One. They're a tin pot club with a tin pot fan base who all sit down at away games. And
Mitch, how bad is their stadium?
Disgusting. It's disgusting.
Worst stadium in the league. It's so bad. I'm never going again.
It's worse than Bournemouth. Bournemouth is shit, but it's old school and it's tiny.
It looks like an Irish league ground.
Brentford's is new and it's still tin pot. 12th.
It looks like if Legoland was a shoebox.
If that makes any sense.
Next.
11th, I've gone with Everton. Everton, scummy scousers, but I respect them because they're a big club like West Ham, like us. I hope they do well because I like the big clubs being amongst it.
We aren't a big club.
We are a big club. Alfie, get your tongue out Arsenal's
Mug.
Carry on.
Yeah, I just think Sean Dyche, I do rate him as a manager. I think he'll kick on next season pretty well. I do think they'll have a good season. I think Onana will be sensational next season. And I think next season he'll be linked to some big club like West Ham for an £80 million move. 10th, I've gone with West Ham.
All right.
If you asked me this probably yesterday, I would have said 13th. But looking at the clubs, I didn't realize how many more clubs were worse than us.
Mate, the mid-table is an absolute just.
Yeah, but I've got to say so.
Mess.
I've got to say so, Mitch. But do you say that now though? Like Are you hoping that we get signings to be finished 10th?
But
It's a prediction.
I can almost. It's a prediction, and my prediction is that we sign 4 players before the window shuts.
Hmm.
Believe it or not, I think we do. I don't think Sullivan will let that because I think it will just be chaos. I think Sullivan, even as bad as he is, and Moyes as bad as he is, I think they will get signings through the door last minute. Okay, 9th. I've gone with Aston Villa. Rummy bastards.
Speak
again,
up.
Another
Please.
big club. But I don't think they're going to have as good a season as everyone thinks they will. I think Pau Torres, I don't think he'll be good. And I just don't think they can be as good. I don't think he's going to be as well connected and free flowing as everyone thinks it will be. I think they've made pretty good signs on paper. But again, I don't think Tielemans will do great. I don't think Pau Torres will do right. I think, Diaby will do well, but I think he's just too disjointed. I kind of see a similar situation with us, like a couple of seasons ago where we signed big players and stuff. But they've got Unai Emery, who I do rate, which is why I still put them at 9th. But I would not be surprised, and I would have them as like my joker card, if you want to say that, as I wouldn't be surprised if they were to finish 13th next season.
All right.
It's my little joker. All right, number 8. I've gone with Brighton. Great team, very good manager, and I could just see the chemistry flying. Even though I really don't like Brighton, again, they're another 10th club who don't deserve to be in the Premier League purely because of their status at the club. And also, well, it's Brighton.
You said half the league don't deserve to be here at this point.
No, I didn't. I said Brighton, Brentford, and Bournemouth, and that's it. And Luton.
And Sheffield United.
I didn't say Sheffield United.
Just 4 teams.
I said I don't like Sheffield United. But Brighton are just, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, 7th. I've gone with Spurs. I don't think they're going to have a good season. I do rate Postecoglou as a manager. He would have been a manager I would have liked at West Ham if we were to sack Moyes. I do think they'll play some good football. If Kane does go before the window, and I actually don't think he will, then I would put Spurs probably at 10th and push the other teams up 1. But that's it. I'm going 7th. Europa League positions. Newcastle, I've gone at 6th. I think Newcastle will drop slightly, and that's it. Purely because of the Champions League, I think they'll drop slightly. I think the quality will be better next year. I think Man United will get a bit better. Liverpool will be better. Chelsea will be a lot better. So I just think that will just push Newcastle down.
Mitch, people are saying you're having a mare in the chat.
No, they fucking ain't.
Make that £2.
Yeah, Alfie teased me. That's Alfie.
Right. Next.
Don't worry. I'll send you the bill over PayPal after.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What are you saying? Nah.
He's so shook.
I know, mate.
I've gone with Arsenal. Fucking ass.
You don't believe that, though. You don't believe
Yes.
it. You're just doing it because you don't like it.
There is a man out there who believes. Trust me.
That's poor. You know they're not going to come.
Right, let him land, please. Thank you. Go on, Mitch. Take it away.
So Aston Villa's team is not incredible. I don't get where this thing is. It's incredible. Their fullbacks aren't that good, in my opinion. Their midfield's overrated.
Arsenal, Mitch. Arsenal.
Sorry. 5th. Yeah, Arsenal. I put the Gunners there because I just think they'll be capitulating. I think they're a young squad. I think with the pressure of this year, I just think they're going to capitulate. And I can't wait to see it happen.
You genuinely think they're coming below
Arsenal Fan
Chelsea?
TV is going to be fantastic to watch as well.
Oh,
I think Rice will struggle for the first few months, and then he'll come good.
Terrible.
And then the fans will start turning on Rice, but then he'll naturally come good because he's a great player. I think
He will cry.
will get banged up halfway through the season, and I just think I don't think they'll sign a striker without a proper striker. They will struggle. with that
They've
bum up
got a
top,
proper striker.
Eddie Nketiah, I think his name is, that bum, who probably should be playing for a team like Burnley.
Yes.
Oh,
might be
Mitch,
banging
your
in goals.
tapes are shocking.
So, yeah, for that reason, I've gone 5th with Arsenal.
Oh my
All
And
right.
also, defensively, they were really good last year. In pre-season, they look shaky.
So
yeah.
has no team has looked good in pre-season apart from
Chelsea.
maybe.
How about Chelsea?
Yeah, they are the best, and they've not even been
Well,
that
there you
good.
go.
Right.
Shit.
Top
Alf,
four,
let him
Mitch.
land, man. Let him land. Go on.
Oh, what a terrible take.
Alf is not an Arsenal fan, you know, people. I just want to clarify that.
Top four,
Yeah,
Mitch.
Bite.
Go.
4th, I've gone with Chelsea. Up the fucking rent, boys. That's what I'm talking about.
£3.
Chelsea, I think they'll finish 4th.
No, mate.
I
Go
think
on,
Chelsea
Mitch.
will finish 4th because I think their squad is good. I do rate Nicholas Jackson highly, and he's a player that I wish we went in for. Maybe at the start, I know it would be really hard to get him because of Chelsea interest, but he looks good. He looks very good, and I think they've got a very well balanced squad now. And if they do get inside Caicedo, they could even push that 3rd spot. So, yeah, I do rate their team.
Kepa in
Chelsea.
goal, by the way. Kepa in goal. I forgot to mention that.
No, they've
They've
signed Robert Sanchez now, haven't they?
He's terrible. He's just as bad. He can't even start for Brighton.
He's not terrible.
He's terrible.
We'll see.
Well,
All
let
right,
him
Mitch.
land, Alf. I know you're
We'll see.
triggered. Go on.
It's all about opinions. We'll see. 3rd place, I've gone with Manchester United. Man United, I reckon. I really don't want them to be good. But I do think they're going to have a good, solid season, but nothing special. They haven't got any players that will take them to the top. They've just got a good squad now, and I think they'll have a very good season. But they're still lacking that world class bit of magic in and around that midfield and attack area. They need that. So yeah, 3rd. 2nd, I've gone with
Mitch, what do you make of that comment? Top 7?
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
No way. Not a
Yeah.
chance.
Seriously.
struggled.
Well, we'll get to our bets at the end of the show. Carry on.
People are going off the badge, not who they actually are.
Right.
Who's your champion,
I'm
Mitch?
going off with. I think that they'll do. Champions, it's got to be Man City. They are an incredible team. Haaland is only going to get better under Pep as well. So is Grealish. Even with the losses that they've had, Pep has always found a way to get around them. People say they might not have as good a season. They may drop a few points, but Pep literally won the league without a striker. So he's going to do it again. Gosh, and Liverpool, I think they're going to have a very good season. I think they'll be pretty close to City, maybe like 5-6 points off. I do think they're going to have a very good season. Defensively, yeah, they're very light. But I've got this gut feeling that they're going to have a very good season.
I agree on that.
So, yeah.
And that's your table. Everyone read it and weep before we discuss. You boys have any comments on Mitch's table?
Go on, let Alfie go first because he's going to say a lot. Go on.
Here we go.
I think I'm looking at it now. The top 7 is really bad. Really, really poor. He's got it all.
Alf.
Shocking, mate. Terrible.
Where'd you put Newcastle, Alf?
5th. I don't mind Newcastle, but
No, but
Liverpool
I'll put them 6th. Where'd you put
6
Spurs?
points off City definitely isn't happening.
Where'd
Arsenal
you put
5th.
Spurs?
I put them 7th.
How can you say, though, Alfie, that you think Arsenal are going to finish 2nd when they've got no
How can I?
striker? Well, no
Because I
striker.
watched them last year. Jesus is out for 5 weeks. By the way, Jesus was arguably top 2 players of the season in the first half of the season. And Eddie Nketiah is a great player. He genuinely is.
Great.
Okay.
Don't do hard drugs, people.
As Mitch rightly said, Man City won the league without a striker. Arsenal don't need to start a central striker.
Man City have got
They're that
Haaland up front, yeah, and Arsenal have got Eddie fucking Nketiah. That's a pound for me.
Alfie,
right?
if Eddie Nketiah was to leave Arsenal, what would you say would be a club that would suit his standard?
Honestly, if when people finally realise how good he is, he could easily play for any team apart from Man City. He should be in
No,
any
but I'm
squad.
saying, just right now, what team do you reckon suits his standard? If he was to leave Arsenal to say this transfer window,
Start for Chelsea, definitely. Starts for Chelsea.
What, Nicholas Jackson?
Yeah. No,
And
come on.
Kunku?
no. I'm
Better
not saying
than Kunku up
starting.
front,
I'm
yeah.
saying quality-wise.
Yeah.
Broja?
Yes.
Oh, mate, you're on severe drugs, mate. What are you smoking? Don't do drugs, kids.
I've watched him play football.
Ecstasy, speed.
All the hardcore drugs Alfie's on. Listen, I'm
People
going to say
didn't even
this.
know who Jackson was until they've
Smack.
watched the highlight from the other week, by the way.
Oh,
No one
what
even
do you
knew
mean?
who he
He's
was.
fucking good. He's quick. He's pacey. He's strong. He's a good finisher. He's a danger man. Everything that Eddie Nketiah is not.
Nicholas Jackson, he's only scored about, I don't know, but his goal record isn't even that good. I'm not saying he's not a good striker, but people suddenly think he's next Messi.
Right. I'm going to say what I think.
Last thoughts so I can go on to mine.
Yeah, right. Now, I agree with Mitch. Arsenal 5th. There's no way that they can go and challenge for the league and finish 2nd with no striker. With Eddie Nketiah. I'm sorry.
They did last year.
Fifth or fourth, I think.
Listen, they might do it this year. Yeah, but Liverpool are stronger than ever. Manchester United are stronger.
Liverpool aren't strong.
How many goals Eddie Nketiah getting this season now?
Double digits in the league, which won't matter because Jesus. By the way, they will play Jesus most of the time.
So what's double digits for you
now? But Kai Havertz as a false 9 for Arsenal, I'm not his biggest fan, but all he'll be used is for his height. And trust me, the goals will come out wide. Martinelli and Saka score a ridiculous amount of goals for wingers, so the burden's taken off the strikers a little bit.
Right. Don't get me wrong. Arsenal got a good midfield. Obviously, they've got one of ours, right? But I just don't see how they score the goals, and I don't see how they don't. Like Liverpool don't outscore them. Like
they will outscore.
Liverpool will score goals. Will score goal after goal.
Poor at defending transitions, so bad. Liverpool's midfield is so unbalanced.
Maybe I'm being harsh on 5th, but I'm definitely listen. Chelsea will get top 4, 5-4. People, get your money on.
Mitch, final thoughts? Or are you good?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Let's move on to the grand finale. It is now my turn. Fever, if you want to interject, host this one for me. If you have any questions, go ahead, or anyone, doesn't matter. So, for 20th, I'm going Luton Town. I think I like Luton. I like the prospect of them, but I actually think they're gonna set a new points record. I think they are going to be worse than Derby County. And if there's a bet out there that I can put on that, please let me know, because I do want to have
They are. I'll tell you this bet quickly. I said the other day, they're very good odds to only get 16 points this season.
You genuinely think they're going to get less than 11 points, Lucas?
I really think they're that bad.
There's a lot of really shit teams in the league this year, and with the way they are, Luton, they'll grind out a lot of results.
Again,
it was definitely a double digits, right, for Luton to get 16 points or less.
The thing is, I know it's a prediction. All I know is they're going down. I don't know where their goals are going to come from. Like I said, their 2 best players are their wing backs, which they're decent, but they're just not. They're not a Premier League side. I don't believe in them.
Lucas, I'll bet if you now that Luton don't go down.
I'll take that all day then. Okay.
What we talking, lads? Go on.
We'll discuss. I would like to get through my table. So 19th,
fun, like 20 quid.
19th, I'm going Sheffield United.
20, Lucas?
Mate, can I please get through my table? We can talk about this.
Right, we'll do the bets at the end. Go ahead.
But Sheffield United, 19th. Not the same as Luton, but again, just not a lot of Premier League quality. There one lad, their best player, left from Marseille, who Marseille look a decent side. Might have to put a bet on them in the Ligue 1, but just not a lot of promise there. I mean, they're going to park the bus. They'll probably be decent at home, but it's just not going to be enough to keep them up, in my opinion. So 19th. 18th, I'm going just like everyone else. I'm going Wolverhampton Wanderers. Just they have no money. They haven't improved. The best player they want is Aaron Cresswell. Cunha hasn't really hit the ground running. He seems to be maybe a waste of money, but just again, they're going to struggle. I don't see it. Where the goals are going to come from, I do not know. Okay, we move on to 17th. I am going Burnley. Wow, I do like Vincent Kompany, and I like the prospect of Burnley. I don't know how their style of play is going to translate to the Premier League, and I think it's going to be I'm not going to say it's going to be a fight. They will be around the relegation zone, but I think they will end up steering clear of it.
You
They will.
seriously think, I've got to say this, come in here. You seriously think Burnley are going to be 17th when you've got Bournemouth, Forest, fucking Palace under Vincent Kompany?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, mate. I think you might have to have a bet.
I think the big thing is that I don't have them getting relegated.
Yeah,
I think they're good. I think they're good enough to stay up, and I think Vincent Kompany is going to have a very good season of management.
They're losing the loan players.
I think they'll be fine. Like I said, if you listen to me, I think they'll separate themselves from Wolves, Sheffield United, and Luton, but they're going to consistently be in that zone for me.
Have we all got Wolves to go down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wolves in trouble.
And then 16th, I'm going Bournemouth. Again, I think I'm telling you right now, this 13 to 17, it's going to be an absolute dogfight. It's going to be a ruck. It's going to be a bar fight of just in a flip of a coin of where they're all going to finish. So I'm just going off my instinct. So 16th for Bournemouth. Decent season last year. I'm not a fan of them getting rid of Gary O'Neill. I think their new manager, while he does seem promising, his resume is decent. I think it will take a season to transition, and that could cost them. I don't know. I do think they have some decent players that performed last season, but can they stay consistent? That is the golden question for me. 15th, I am going Everton. Sean Dyche. I think he's a good manager. Tactically, he's okay. But this one for me is just Everton's squad. I just don't rate them. And I think they're just going to be in the mix as well. They're just going to be fighting to separate themselves away from Wolves, Sheffield United, and Luton. I think Onana will have a good season and will evidently put in like a 50, 60 million pound bid for him, hopefully, because he will prove his worth. And again, I don't know where their goals are going to come from because Dominic Calvert-Lewin will probably get hurt again. If you got to rely on Dwight McNeil to score goals, it's going to be a long day for you. Then I'm going Nottingham Forest. They're not going to be able to buy anyone, but I think I don't rate Steve Cooper that highly, but they survived last season off literally just buying whoever they could. They had to mishmash everyone together, but now they've had a full preseason under their belt. I think they will come together a bit as a club. I don't think they'll finish they're going to finish around the same they did last season, but I think they will look a little bit better.
I do like Gibbs White a lot.
Yeah, he actually really impressed me last season, and he proved me wrong. I didn't think he was going to be all that, but he was the shining light for them. Now, we've gone Fulham next. A bit of a weird one for me, but when you think about it, they are possibly going to lose Mitrovic. They did lose Willian, but they still have a bit of a core when you think about it. They got Anthony Robinson. They still got Tim Ream.
Yeah.
Diop obviously stinks, but
Bio, Leno,
Paulinho is still there. I think they still have their main core there, excluding obviously Mitrovic and Willian, but I think it's decent enough that they'll finish around the same, maybe a little worse. Like I said, this 17 to 13 is just that's a coin flip in my opinion. Even when you get to like 10th, it's an absolute coin flip for me because there are going to be a lot of poor sides this season. So next, I am going. Where am I at? I'm looking at my list. Next, I'm going Crystal Palace. I do think that they're going to lose Elise, because apparently his release clause is only £35 million, and whoever wants him, I think that is very good value for him. I think he's a good player, and I do predict that he will leave. But if he does stay, Palace are they're literally the definition of mid-table. I can't see them really improving much or declining much. So, and like everyone said, their midfield actually looks very decent. I do rate Lerma. Eze is a baller, obviously.
Good stuff, Lucas. Good stuff.
A lot of, again, just very mid-table. I don't see them really changing. Next, 11th, I'm going Brentford. I think until January 17th, they are going to struggle a bit. But because Thomas Frank, he is a good manager, I think they're going to hang on just about until Ivan Toney comes back. And then once Toney comes back, they will look a bit like the old Brentford. So for me, my prediction here is they're going to hang on just about without him. And then once he comes back, it's going to be back to your scheduled programming, and they're going to be Brentford. Next, I'm going with it 10th. I'm going West Ham United. This, if I had to put my money on it, I wouldn't. This is more of an optimistic finish. I just, again, all this is such a coin flip in here. Like, is Palace better than us? I'd say no. Is Brentford better than us? No. But it's the little things. It's the little things that could help us or hurt us. But this is an optimistic finish for me. I'm going 10th with West Ham United. And I do think, like Mitch said, we will end up signing 3 or 4 players. And if we don't, obviously, that could slide all the way down over here. But I'm staying optimistic. So 9th, I think Mitch might be the only one that didn't have this, but I'm going Brighton 9th. I think you had him 8th, Mitch, right?
Yeah, he had Villa up.
I'm going Brighton 9th. Good side. I don't think their depth is as good as what people think. And with Europa League this season, I do think they'll decline just a little bit, but they are ahead of those 3 sides before them: West Ham, Brentford, and Palace. So I think it's going to be very hard for them to drop out of the top half, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, I just think with Europa League, they'll decline a bit, but not much. So with 8th, I'm going Tottenham Hotspur. I think, while I don't think Postecoglou, however you pronounce his last name, I don't think he's a terrible manager. I think he is going to come to the reality that the Premier League is a lot different than where he's come from. It's going to be a transitional season. The future of Harry Kane is so up in the air. I could see either way him going or staying. And even if he does stay, the fluctuation between 8th and 7th for me, it's a coin toss for me. But I think this will be a bit of a transitional year, even though I agree. I think one of you said it, but I don't think Son is going to be as bad as he was last season. I think
I said that. I said that, Lukey Pookie.
He will come back a bit stronger, but I do not know if it's enough because their defense is still shocking. They're really bad. So I'm going 8th.
What's Son do his ACL second season?
Then Europa League, Europa Conference League spot. We are going with a repeat of Aston Villa. I think they have a very good side, in my opinion. I like their additions. There's little reservations I have, like maybe like adjusting to the Premier League. Like I think Pau Torres is a good center half, but just because you're a good center half in the league, it does not mean you're going to be a good center half in the Premier League. It's a whole different game. So there's that. I think Tielemans on a free is just fantastic business. Even though people really wanted him at West Ham, I do rate him as a player, but I do think he's kind of a lazy midfielder. But there's quality in there. Obviously, he can absolutely hit the piss out of a ball. But in Diaby, he's going to be electric. He's like, to me, a bit of an old school winger. Left foot on the left side, just blazing pace. He's going to put crosses in to Ollie Watkins, who I think Ollie Watkins is going to have another decent season. He's going to have a lot of good support around him. So 7th for me. 6th, I'm going Newcastle United. I think this is a tough one because who I'm about to put next in 4th. No. I see my prediction right now. 6th and 4th was tough for me because Newcastle.
What happened?
Can you let me explain, please, if you don't mind? Newcastle with Champions League. Their place for me depends on how they do in Champions League. If they bow out early, I think they can finish a little higher. If they compete, they get out of the group stage, and they're really trying to go for it, I think they will take a bit of a dip in the Premier League. But I love the Harvey Barnes signing. I think Newcastle's attack is an absolute handful. Their midfield is arguably it could arguably be the best in the Premier League, in my opinion. Just in terms of balance, like they just suit each other so well. And like Alfie said earlier, one of the best defenses in the league. And I don't know with Eddie Howe. I don't think he's a bad manager. I do think he's overhyped, though. I think he's a very good man manager, but I don't know. We will see. And 5th, I'm going Chelsea. I do think they will be good. They're going to be a lot better than last year, obviously, but it's going to be I think it's going to be a transitional season for them. I really do, but they're going to be fighting for 4th, in my opinion. They've got some good players. I haven't really been keeping track on them during preseason, but just new players. How fast can they gel with each other? No European competition is obviously going to help them in their fight to try and finish top 4, but I think they are going to come up a little bit short. But I do rate your future Fever. They could finish top 4, but I think they will finish just a bit outside. So, like I was trying to explain before getting interrupted, I'm going 4th, Arsenal. The same reason as Newcastle. I believe the longer you stay in the Champions League, I think your Premier League form is going to dip a little bit. And I think Arsenal I just don't know. The midfield doesn't scare me that much. In terms of players, yes, but it's just the balance. Like, in my opinion, I think if Arsenal want to be at their best, I think Partey, Rice, and Odegaard should be the midfield 3 they go with. But if they go with Havertz, Odegaard, and Rice, I just think they'll leak goals in transition. And I'll tell you what, Arsenal's defense has not looked that great in preseason. So I don't know. And I think they just had a really good season last year, and I don't think they're going to repeat. I think they will finish top 4, but not 2nd. Now, I'm going to go 3rd. I'm going Liverpool. Liverpool FC. The midfield is a huge question mark. But I do predict they will bring in Lavia. They will bring in someone else. But I think the midfield is going to be a huge, huge question mark because, in my opinion, the midfield is the most important part of the game. But they are going to score loads. They've got, again, they've arguably got the best attack in the league too. And I think they're just going to primarily focus on the league. They're going to bin off European competition they have. And, yeah, that's my prediction. I don't think their defense is deteriorating, but there is a question mark with Trent if he's going to move into the midfield or not. And that could prove to be either good or bad. And then obviously I'll just go 2nd. Obviously, City's going to win the league, but I'm going Manchester United 2nd. Manchester United. This one is a bit of a punt. In my opinion, I think their midfield is going to be very good this season. I think their midfield is going to lift them. And even though I don't rate Anthony, I don't rate Sancho, I think their midfield is really going to like just carry them and create just easy opportunities for them to score. And their defense, I don't think is as bad as what people say. I do rate Luke Shaw. I think their right back situation is okay. And their center halves, I think, will perform. And Onana, good addition for the way Ten Hag likes to play. And we will have to see if Rashford can continue his hot form. And then champions, obviously. I'm going Manchester City. They're too good. Best manager in the world. They've replaced adequately. I don't think Kovacic is going to really replace Gundogan, but I mean, he's a good player. City are too much for me. So they're my champions. What do you say, boys, about the table?
I don't understand Man United second. I don't, but I understand what you're saying. I look at Liverpool and people are slagging off Liverpool, and I just think Liverpool will come strong this year.
For me, I think United are better than Liverpool, and they have a better overall side, in my opinion. So that's why I put them second. But I was deciding between them for second and third. It's a flip flop for me, but I think United have the better overall squad.
Lucas,
yes.
You commented on the balance of Arsenal's midfield, which is one of the reasons why you put them fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Have you actually looked into how unbalanced Liverpool's midfield three is?
Yes, it's a problem, but I think they're going to solve it.
They will solve it for starters.
There's going to be some high risk chances they're going to take with possibly Trent going in the midfield, but it could pay off. And I think you went out as soon as I was talking about Arsenal, but for me,
no, I left when I heard you put them forward.
But
throw something.
Newcastle and Arsenal for me, like I said, they're in the same situation. I just think whoever stays in the Champions League longer is going to see a little bit of a dip in form in the Premier League. So, but I think Arsenal, they've got the juice to still finish top four. I don't think they'll finish second though.
That's fair enough.
I think yours
not fair enough
at
all.
Probably the best table.
No.
So
Mine was
I completely agree with your Man United take. I actually think if Hoyland turns out to be really
of course you do.
I think they could rival even City this year. I think the squad is
brilliant. Get out, Mitch.
They've got a very good squad. They've got an almost complete squad. A few ifs and buts here and there. But
they've got loads of ifs and buts. There's so many issues.
Read and weep. This is the last look of
their winger options are shocking. They barely scored any
Anthony's
goals.
Anthony's having a brilliant season.
Oh my god!
Before we go, I just want to run through a few bets that I've
real quick. There. Everyone in the live chat, comment who had the best table. Do that.
Well, it was me.
And smash the like button.
Thank you.
Not the most sensible, the best. I think me or Lucas had the best table.
No, you didn't. Luke, you had the most uneducated table. You could tell you've done yours in about 3 minutes. Mate.
Right. We'll see. Will you all shut up and let me land? Is that all right? Thank you very much. Right. What I'm saying is, when you were talking about Luton, I had a little scout about. Yeah. And what do you think of these bets? Yeah. This is going to make you laugh. Luton to win 0 away league games.
Oh,
what price?
Tell me what that is.
16-1.
Oh, I love that.
So do I. Yeah. I think that's a pretty decent bet. Luton under 16 points.
No,
I think that's easy.
Even that Huddersfield side.
That's 25 to 1.
I think that's shit.
If they get under that, yeah. What we got? Manchester City to win the league. West Ham and Wolves both to finish in the bottom half, 12-5. I think that's a great bet.
Ooh,
you're basically backing Man City at 12-5 there, because I know Wolves are finishing bottom half and West Ham are just fucking.
Like I said, that mid-table though is
Luton will stay up. I can guarantee you.
That mid-table's a ruck. It's an absolute ruck.
How many points do you reckon Wolves are going to get next season?
24.
What?
Well,
they'll get about 30.
33.
33, yeah.
35.
Right. 35. Wolves under 40 points is 4-6, which I think is a great bet.
Easy.
Nah, shit.
Yeah. But we are, let's be honest, we have been.
It doesn't matter about the odds. We're trying to make money. You're making
We've all
money
put
on
them in the
that.
relegation zone, but let's be honest, there's still a very, very, very.
I think
good chance.
Luton not to win a game away from home, I think is a great bet. 16s.
I think
Really
that's
do.
easy.
Oh,
Unless they go up and just shit ass a 1-0 win somewhere. Do you know what I mean? But
Right,
go on.
Eva,
Yes.
how much we putting on then? Arsenal to come
Oh,
above
yeah.
Chelsea.
Let's get to these bets then. Right. I will go with Chelsea to finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
And you are going with what exactly?
Well, no, I just thought it was. I'm going Arsenal above Chelsea. You're going Chelsea above Arsenal.
Right. I'll tell you what we'll do. Do you think Arsenal will finish in the top 2 this year?
I'm not betting
Face
on
reveal.
that. I just want to bet on the Arsenal Chelsea thing. Like, who's
All
gonna
right.
come home.
So we'll do that then. 50 quid each. You know what I mean, can't afford it anymore.
Mitch, what was the one bet that you wanted?
I think I might get better odds on Sky Bet. I need to check that first.
You will get better
Oh.
to subscribe. I was on the heels. I just had a look at. I'm just looking at it
Also,
now.
Oh, you said Luton
looked-
won't be relegated.
Yeah, look, yeah. You said Luton won't get relegated. And
by the
I
way,
think getting is evens.
when
You want to just do 20 quid friendly?
20 quid friendly for you two. What you saying,
Fuck
Mitch?
it. Fuck it.
Add that to the bet and the swear
Eva.
jar.
Eva, when
Yeah.
we made the Skamaka bet, we didn't mention him leaving the club at the start.
Yes,
of the
we
season.
did.
So
Yes,
if
we
he
did.
leaves, I'm expecting 500 straight into my bank.
You're expecting a fucking IOU, mate, in like coins. You'll be lots of copper. But yeah. If he leaves, then the void is, the bet is none and void. So yeah. Any more for any more, gentlemen? Do you know what I mean?
No, but I think you will be doing a betting show for the members this coming week. People, our
Tomorrow.
membership is going to be very, very good the upcoming season.
Damn those fucking emails, bruv.
Add that to the swear jar as well. That's about £8.
Any super chats tonight? Please help us out. Mitch's costs about 50 quid.
If you haven't already, check out the membership we are offering. It's in the description below. We have a 99p membership. It gets you all the really cool emojis that Tom loves to spam in the chat. And then the second tier, the gold tier, $2.99. We will be bringing you great content. Fever's going to be bringing you betting content. We're doing pre-match stuff. Me and Alfie are doing, well, mostly Alfie. I'll be producing tactical analysis for the members. Please.
I spoke to a Bournemouth fan today, lads, so I'm getting his point of view. We got the Bournemouth one coming soon.
Can I ask you-
Was he inbred? Was he inbred?
Nah, it was Bournemouth fan page on Instagram.
But please
Right.
check out the membership perks. We're going to be going really hard this season to bring you guys really good content. So if you could check it out, go ahead. And if you feel that it's worth it, we would love for you to join.
And I don't want to join the local Lidl when I go back to uni. So if you want to help me pay for some chicken steaks and stuff.
Oh, that's one way to not get members. They don't want to help you.
Right, listen, I'm going to ask something quickly. Yeah.
Huh?
How many points do you reckon Luton will get next season?
We got
Give
a
me
new
a
member.
Oh, it's all
10.
it's all Sedani. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Okay.
I reckon 37.
You reckon Luton's getting 37 points?
Thank you, Daddy.
Are you?
Thank you, Daddy.
Oh yeah, well, I had a few beers earlier on, but fuck me, Mitch. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? Right, how many points do you reckon? WestHamOnline.
32.
10.
Mate, he's a mad, bro. He's a mad. Honestly, there's no way they're getting
That's
fair.
barely anything.
So if I say they'll get promoted, then promoted, I mean stay up. If I think they're going to stay up, then I've got to stand by my points. So I think 37.
Well,
will keep them up.
under 21 points for Luton, he's 6-1, which I think is a good bet.
I think if you do that, you're deluded. How about that?
Oh.
Yeah. Barry even agrees with me. Luton will get 6 points. You know what I mean?
Every season there is a shock. Every season, and
Well, it'll be West Ham to stand the fucking league at this rate. I mean, that's not
Nice
point of
shot.
Add that to the
Can I
swear
make a
jar. That's
shot
about
prediction on
£10.
E20? Can I make a shot
Look, I got your
prediction on
fucking
E20,
little
quick?
cunt.
11.
Go on, mate.
12.
Right,
Go-
let's predict our E20 shock.
Mitch,
of
you
the
will be getting a
season.
bill after this.
Mine is Mitch
Sorry.
accidentally strips naked on the stream. That's my prediction for the season.
And I'm telling you, people, if we get to 5,000 subscribers, I will do a watch along. Absolutely zooted off my ass.
I've actually give clarification on that to say, you know what, if we do that, then I'm going to let him do it.
What
So,
about
yeah.
3,000?
Nah, maybe I'll take a edible or something
Nah.
to celebrate the milestone.
5 to 1.
We'll have them on.
Still
It'd be a
the
good
E20s on
discussion.
TV.
I'll have them on.
We've also got
Yeah.
a new member joining us. If anyone here has heard of Elite Analyst,
All right, boys, let's wrap this up. Luke,
Yeah,
wrap it up.
let's wrap it up there. Fucking Alfie's over at one of these fucking moments.
I gotta go eat dinner as well. But before we go, people, thank you again for joining us. We had a lot of participation in the chat. We appreciate everyone's dedication to watching our videos. It's very flattering, and we appreciate you all for tuning in every video. And yeah, if you haven't smashed like on the video, please do so. If you want to check out the membership, the link is in the description. Make sure to turn the bell notification on to be the first one in here. But yeah, that's it from us. Hope you all stay safe. Have a great rest of your night, and let's look forward to Saturday. Come on, you honors.
there it is.